Testing, testing. Man, man. We finally get into it. Welcome to the very first episode of Commander's Circle. My name's Tyus, and I've been a lifelong Commanders fan. And we're gonna be talking everything Commanders right on this little pod we got going on. So, know what I'm saying? For my fellow fans that's gonna be tuning in pretty soon, I appreciate you joining. Know what I'm saying? Whoever watched the video, follow the channel, like, subscribe, all that kind of thing. But let's go ahead and dive right into this little recap from the Raiders game. So obviously, JD didn't play. We brought in Mariota. You know what I'm saying? He looked good. A near perfect game outside of the fumble, to be honest. And even on that play, he read the our quarterback read perfectly good. You know what I'm saying? Perfectly. Got 20, 25 yards before he ultimately coughed the ball up. But that's literally his only bad play of the game. And I don't understand why, or you know what I'm saying, at least the fan base believed in him, but like other people be trying to disrespect Marcus Mariota. But like that's Heisman winning quarterback Marcus Mariota. Like, don't get it twisted. The boy got skills. And I think Cliff's system fits him perfectly. And that's why he's been able to succeed each time he has to play for Jaden Daniels the last 2 years. So if Jaden doesn't play again this week versus the Falcons, I'm perfectly fine and perfectly capable of believing in Marcus Mariota and what he brings to the table in his offense. It will be a little harder if Terry doesn't suit up versus the Falcons, but I still believe Mariota has a good handle on the offense and he can still make plays with his legs. And that just leaves room for other receivers to step up. So we'll see how that goes. But back to the Raiders game, Mariota played phenomenal. No complaints about it. Really a good game from him. Hitting targets, being accurate, playing on time. You couldn't ask more from your backup. You know what I'm saying? Veteran. Shout out to Marcus Mariota for sure. We have no complaints about what he did for us this past Sunday. Offensively, you know what I'm saying? We look great, to be honest. Put up 40 points, you know what I'm saying? With Marcus playing the backup, like that should tell you a lot about what this offense still is able to do and create, especially against teams that's not on their, you know what I'm saying, caliber. Like they struggled week one against the Giants just a tad, but that game was pretty comfortable. We watched the Packers game, wasn't really pretty. They were kind of, you know what I'm saying, outplayed, outcoached that night, but I don't think that game was that I don't think the game was I think the game was closer than kind of the score would lead you to believe or led us to believe. And even with the play, it was a one-score game in the second half, even with how bad the Commanders played against the Packers. So there's lots to like about this football team. They're a good football team. So they just need to continue to grow and get better as we move on. But you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, moving on. The offensive line, awesome job. Shout out to Josh Connolly. Been through the gauntlet early in the year with first 3 weeks between, you know what I'm saying, Brian Burrs and Abdul Carter and that defensive line for the Giants. The Packers last week with Micah and how good they are playing up front for them too in Green Bay. And then this week with Mason Carp or Max Crosby. I'm about to call that boy Mason. That ain't right, but Max Crosby. You know what I'm saying? So it's like to like there, you know what I'm saying, playing out of position. Well, it's not out of position now, but learning a new position still early into it. I think there's a lot to like for him moving forward. And honestly, he got this portion out the way. So it's like I expect him to continue to prove what lesser quote unquote competition, but I would still like to see Cliff do things to help him up. Chip, tight end help, stuff like that. Just still kind of make it easier for him as he still continues to improve and get better at that position. So, but obviously, I like what I saw versus there. The protection was pretty good. Both the tackles didn't give up any pressure. So that's a great game. When both your tackles don't give up any kind of pressures, we good. So like I'm glad to see that worked out pretty good. And shout out to Chris Paul too. He wasn't starting, got the gig this week and play in place of Brandon Coleman. So and he did what he's supposed to do. And I always like Chris Paul. I thought he had a chance to be at the position. I don't understand why he wasn't kind of getting reps earlier to see if he could kind of lock down that position. But I'm glad to see him doing well and he stuck with it. And I think Brandon Coleman still has a future in this league. So he can continue to learn. He can learn from Chris, learn from the other vets, and just continue growing his game at left guard or whatever they decide to move him now. But I think we have some depth pieces up front and we should be able to do well. And once we get Cosme back, man, listen, that offensive line, like I said after week 1, I thought offensive line had potential to be one of the best in the league. I still believe that once we get everybody there together and kind of get them some chemistry playing together, once Cosme get back, I do think we'll have a lot to like up front. And it's been a long time to say that for real, with a good cast up front, protecting our quarterback, protecting our franchise. But obviously, I like what I saw. Let's talk about the running backs though. But between Bill, Chris, and McNichols, shout out to McNichols, broke that runoff. You know what I'm saying? You see why they felt comfortable trading B-Rob. Obviously, McNichols and C-Rob was there last year, but the addition with Bill, with those two guys, and they can kind of do what B-Rob was doing last year, it was a no-brainer. I just would like to see Bill needs the ball more. Point blank, period. Like, you can tell when he run the football, he has something that, and I love Rodriguez and McNichols, but he has something they don't have. You can see the juice, the vision, the ability to cut, you know what I'm saying, turn lesser gains into positive gains. It's a like there's a lot to love with Bill at running back. And I understand Cliff was talking about some of the protection stuff and having him improve without the ball and having him approve. And Cliff saying, you know what I'm saying, he needs to improve without the ball in his hands. And that's cool, but we didn't draft him because of that. We drafted him to play running back, and everybody didn't rave about him the entire summer for him not to tote the football. So give the man the ball, feed him the ball. Good things happen when we give Bill the ball, and I can't wait to see what his workload looks like after they continue. I can't wait to see what his production looks like once they increase his workload. I can't wait to see what his production looks like once they increase his workload. Like, he has all the tools to be one of the next great running backs in a Commander's jersey. And I'm really excited about this. Like, I didn't know what to think about him early, but ever since I've watched Bill tote the ball, I'm a fan. I'm very much a fan. And I hope we can continue to put him in positions to succeed offensively because he needs the ball. They need to give him the ball. And I hope if Terry doesn't play upcoming versus the Falcons on Sunday, that Bill gets more carries. We're going to run the ball for sure, but I hope that leads to Bill getting the ball more and kind of letting him work and be juicy with it. You know what I'm saying? Because he deserves it. And the boy can play for sure. So, Cliff, I'm begging you, get Bill the ball more. Point blank, period. But you know what I'm saying? And Debo, like, right before the season, a lot of people was talking about, what Debo y'all gonna get? Debo washed, he fat, he this, he that, blah, blah, blah. Debo looked good. You saw that kick return he almost crib? Like, he looks good. They're getting Debo the ball in different ways, using him like a Swiss Army knife. Obviously, that's what they're supposed to do, but I like it. Receiving, know what I'm saying, the ball out the backfield, design runs, jet sweeps, anything, screens, any way to get the ball to Debo, they're doing it, and I'm loving it. Debo looks good. I can't wait to see what else we got in store moving forward. But that's what you do with your best players. You put the ball in their hands, no matter how you got to do it. And with Debo, we're doing it and we're reaping the benefits. So as we continue to push forward on this season, I hope we continue to do that. And Debo continues to show why we traded for him and why we should be glad to have him. But I'm so far impressed with what I've seen from Debo Samuel. And I think the fan base should be too. Defensively, we played the Raiders. The offensive line's terrible over there. The defensive line did a great job of what they're supposed to do. So I'm not going to talk down on them, but we did give up a 185-yard receiver, and I don't like that. Regardless of what the score was, we can't have almost a 200-yard receiver. Trey Tucker finished with 8 receptions, 135 yards, or 185 yards, 3 touchdowns. We will have to double check that. But it's something like that. The boy was torching. Although they got you know what I'm saying, blowed out or whatever, the boy was definitely torching, and we can't have that. Let's look at it. 8 catches, 145 yards, 3 touchdowns. We can't allow that to happen. So the secondary has to improve. What's funny is I think we have the tools in the secondary for them to be a good group. Like, I like Quan Martin. Obviously, the injury to Will Harris is unfortunate, but man, Jeremy Reeves, did you see the way he was coming up and laying the boom on them boys? Like, he physical, he wants to hit. I've been waiting for Reeves to get some real playing time with the defense. So I hope now that Will Harris is out, Reeves will kind of get some more playing time, and we'll see kind of the benefits. The only question for Reeves will be, for me at least, can he consistently cover tight ends and things like that? So we're going to find out real quick, because although they signed Darryl Savage, who remains to be seen just quite yet, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he'll play this weekend. I doubt it. So we'll probably see him next week, but we'll see if they decide to give that position to him or give it to Reeves. And I hope they give it to Reeves, because he's earned it. All pro Reeves earned it. But like, what's the secondary between you know what I'm saying, Quan Martin, Jeremy Reeves, Marshawn Lattimore, Trey Amos, Mikey Stanverstill? Like, we have talent in the secondary to be good. It's just not quite clicking yet. And obviously, Mikey's still learning to slide again, because he played a lot of outside last year. We don't really know what's up with Marshawn just quite yet. He hasn't been what we've been hoping for, quote unquote. Like, week 1 was great. Week 2 was kind of rough. And I'll chop that up to kind of like defensive schematics, and like the Packers just doing a good job getting some one-on-ones with our corners. And then this past week, I don't think Marshawn played all that bad. I just, you know what I'm saying, I'm not really a fan yet of what I've seen from like the defense and the secondary wise. And maybe that's on Wit. Maybe that's on the personnel. I just don't know yet. I thought that in week 1, the communication was great in the secondary, but the last 2 weeks, I'm not entirely sure about that. So we're going to have to see what they look like versus Atlanta this week, who just got shut out by the Panthers. So it's a good week than any to, you know what I'm saying, make sure we kind of get back to where everybody thought the secondary could be before the season start. But shout out to the run defense early this year. Ken Law, Payne up front, Doris Armstrong, all the boys in the defensive line. You know what I'm saying? Really making it hard for opposing teams to run the football. The Raiders struggled. We was getting Genty behind the backfield. That's what you love to see. And man, Deron Payne is very good. He get a lot of hate too, because, you know, contract year stuff don't show up. Last year, a lot of hate, but I always thought Payne got some unfair criticism last year. I think he always playing hard, shows up on the tape normally 80, 85, 90% of the time. I won't make it seem like he doesn't have some faults sometimes, or he always the perfect player, because he's not. But he does a lot of good things for this football team, and I think Commanders fans should kind of respect having him on the team a little bit more. So we'll see how that go moving forward. But the run defense has been great. They really wanted to improve in that area, and 3 weeks into the season they have. So we'll kind of see if they get a real test this week coming up with Atlanta, because they got 2 good running backs back there for Atlanta with Bijan and Tyler Algier. So the Atlanta will try to run the football. Let's hope we can kind of keep them at bay as well, just like we did with Genty and like Josh Jacobs. So I don't really expect too much. We already get help, being that Atlanta loves to play from the pistol a lot already, and they're gonna run the ball. Bijan or Tyler's gonna line up behind Penix in the pistol. They getting a handoff 7-6 yard from the line of scrimmage. So like that should work to our advantage pretty much. And hopefully we can attack and make sure we exploit some of the weaknesses and their run defenses and their run offense, But Bijan has that breakaway ability, so we got to make sure we're in our lanes, filling up the holes, and not giving him any opportunity to break a big one. Because if we do, he has the potential to do it. He's already one of the best running backs in the league, man. So we can't let him get too far we can't let him get too far going. We can't let him get going running the football or catching the football because he has that big playability catching the ball at the backfield too. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they kind of do. But you know what I'm saying? I like what I've seen early from the run defense, and I can't wait for them to kind of continue to build off what we have done early. But obviously, back to the secondary, that also goes into like having Bobby Wagner at his age trying to cover tight ends and stuff like that. That's not gonna work. So I don't know, obviously, about McGee, Cadrano, and stuff like that. The other linebackers we got, but somebody got to be able to cover. Luvu not the one, and Wagner not the one. So unless they willing to go kind of like dime and replace one of them in those kind of situations with a defensive back to cover the tight ends or even work with you know what I'm saying, the other linebackers we do have to see if they can do it. But I do think we're gonna have to figure something out because I don't want to see Bobby Wagner trying to cover tight ends no more. Like it's not a good sign for us, and we don't need to have him playing match coverage on any kind of tight end or any kind of receiver for that matter. It ain't gonna work out for us. He too old. He's great in the run game, but we can't have him on the field when it's time to pass the football. But what he brings to the defense is underminable. So I can't even say he needs to be the field off the field all the time, but we just need to make sure we're putting everybody in the best positions to be successful. I think that's always my biggest thing, making sure we're putting the players in the right positions to be successful. So hopefully they kind of figure out what they want to do in terms of that, having Bobby or Luvu playing the cover guy. I feel like you're probably gonna have to rotate them trying to do it if you're not gonna at least attempt with the other linebackers or another defensive back. So we'll see kind of what the adjustments look like for that moving forward. Because they might not make them. Maybe they like what they have to offer back there. But if I was the opposing offenses, if I can get any one-on-ones with Bobby or Luvu trying to cover somebody, I like my chances. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, obviously, special team. Shout out Jalen Lane, my boy Crib the punt. We didn't really have kind of have that explosiveness returning punts in a very long time. So I love to see that we kind of got somebody with that home run ability, and that adds wonders. You know what I'm saying? Field position, points like you've seen on Sunday. It's you can't really add that up. Like special teams is for forgotten part. Returning like the return guys of special teams to me is a forgotten part of the game. Like I think teams don't stress enough how important it is to have real good return guys. So now we have Debo returning kicks, Lane returning punts. I'm very confident in what we can accomplish, like returning the football on special teams. So shout out to that unit and make them making the decision that we can't really have the safe option, quote unquote, back there no more. We need somebody there back there that can make plays, make it easier in our offense to, you know what I'm saying, dictate, get good field position, and put points on the board. But the kicker, I have to disagree with Dan Quinn. My boy said that they have the utmost confidence in Matt Gay, and through 3 weeks, I don't know why. He hasn't given me anything for me to be like, yeah, that's our kicker. You missing easy ones. You know what I'm saying? I need a kicker that's gonna be automatic. Like hate the Cowboys, but Brandon Arbery, they don't fall off. You know what I'm saying? They don't grow on trees. We need to find a kicker like that. For as long as I've lived, the Commanders have not had a kicker where I was like, man, he's one of the best in the league. That's one portion we're continually missing. And I just hope that doesn't cost us games later in the year because they were reluctant to upgrade that position right now when everybody knows that they should at least bring in competition for him. You don't have to release him just quite yet, but you need to make sure that he knows that your job ain't as safe as you think it is. But Quinn's a leader of men. I respect for him to uplifting his guy, putting confidence in him, and hopefully Matt Gay can do something for us and kind of be better moving forward. But you can't keep missing kicks. So I'm telling you right now, we go in this Atlanta game and he missed another kick, bro. You can't keep defending him. He got to go somewhere. Like we need a reliable person back there, and we haven't had reliable in that position in a very long time. So the kicker position is very important, and we haven't really stressed the importance of it just quite yet. So we'll see what that looks like as the season progresses. But he missing anymore, bro. Your man's gotta go, Quinn. Your man's gotta go, and we is not playing. And I believe the fan base will agree with me on that too. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Overall, the Raiders game, there was a lot to like. There was a lot to like. We in the second half, the defense locked in. The offense was unstoppable. Mariota was doing Mariota things, getting the ball to Terry. Like we can't really complain about what we saw from the Raiders against the Raiders. So they get an A performance on that. They get an A performance, maybe an A minus, B plus. Maybe they get a B plus. I do think the defense could have been a little better, but I'll give them a B plus for it. We did have a turnover, so B plus. That's still a good performance. They won by double digits, 2-1. Like we cool. So I can't complain about that too much. But as we play in the Falcons, you know what I'm saying? We pretty much had the Falcons number. We pretty much had the Falcons number over the last few years. So I'm excited for this game on Sunday. Whether JD plays or it's Marcus Mariota going out there, I feel confident in the Commanders' chances to actually win this football game. So I'm just hoping that they go up there and handle business like they're supposed to. That's what good football teams do. And since we're on that trajectory of being a good football team, a consistent threat each and every year, that's kind of where I need them to be now. Hopefully they go in there and handle business like it's supposed to. Like Atlanta ain't gonna do nothing they ain't never seen before. They gonna live out the pistol and the shotgun. They are rarely under center, if any at all. So like they gonna live out that pistol and then shotgun. You're not gonna try to throw the ball. Penix is coming off probably one of his worst games of his career. So I think this is the chance to kind of build on top of him struggling last week and make sure he doesn't get into a rhythm coming up this week. And we kind of keep those weapons for the Falcons at bay. Like Kyle Pitts, I still like him, although he's probably hasn't been what people was hoping him to be since he got in the league. I still like his game. Drake London's a good receiver. They still got Darnell Mooney. You know what I'm saying? We got Bijan and Algier in the backfield. Like they got some pieces on the offensive side of the ball. So we got to make sure we keep those boys at bay. And my biggest thing, at least I saw when they was playing Carolina, is that when Carolina kind of sent more defenders that they can handle, like they had 5 blocking. If they were sending extra defenders 6 or something, they were getting pressure. So I'm interested to see how much we will decide to blitz Penix, knowing he's not as mobile as certain other quarterbacks. Like he can move and he'll take off when he need to, but he ain't no consistent running threat. And I think we can make him uncomfortable. We can get pressure. So as good as our defensive line has been this year, let's continue to build off of that. Payne, Armstrong, Kinlaw, Jalen Holmes, whoever, Von Miller, whoever steps on the field, you know what I'm saying, and rushing the quarterback. Let's make sure we put some stress on them boys because we've been doing it and we need to continue to do it. Let's make sure we get home. And we need some turnovers. We need turnovers. We ain't had one this season yet, and that is a issue, a very big issue. Got to figure out how to create turnovers. And that comes with the secondary just not being in a position to create some. I wouldn't necessarily blame the defensive line. I thought they probably been the stronger. I ain't gonna say I think. They have been the stronger point of the defense so far early this year. So with the pressure that they're getting on the quarterback, let's see if those defensive backs can kind of make some plays on the football this Sunday and kind of get some turnovers. Like Penix threw a pick 6 last week. Let's see if we can make it 2 weeks in a row. But defensively, the Falcons, you know what I'm saying? They like nickel, a little 4-2-5. They base 4-3. They'll switch it up a little bit. Kind of seeing them get with a, you know what I'm saying? It was seeing them get into a little 3-4 action a little bit, just a little bit. So, I mean, they'll switch it up a little bit. Everybody nowadays like simulated pressures, changing the 4U rush, dropping some defenders off in the coverage. They'll blitz a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They'll switch it up, but I don't fear their defense. I think we have the weapons and the scheme to do a good job. And like last year, we beat them. So let's make it, I want to say 5 years in a row now that we've beat the Falcons if we can handle the job on Sunday. So I'm interested to see what we can do versus this Falcons team, who isn't really that bad of a football team. I just don't think the personnel or the coaching, I don't think it's clicking yet. Like sometimes you can have good personnel, but the coaching just doesn't help put them over the top or help connect the team. And they might be suffering from that just a little bit. So we'll see. But we know they're gonna try to run the football. They ran the football against the Vikings, did a pretty good job at it. So let's see if we can kind of make sure we keep that to a minimum and do what we're supposed to do. As long as they play Commander football, they won't have a problem with Sunday's football game. So I hope they're ready to play, ready to go, regardless of who step on the field, whether Terry goes or not, whether JD goes or not, and some of the other people on the injury list. You know what I'm saying? So I'm interested to see. But I do think I like where we at so far. 2-1. Really can't complain about that. Should be a playoff team again this year. So that's what the standard is now. Is consistently being a playoff contender. We need to earn some respect in that regard. So I ain't reaching for no Super Bowl just quite yet, like some of the fans or some of the media personnel out there today. Even though I'm low-key media personnel, we'll get there one day. But saying that Super Bowl bust, I don't really agree with that. Or they Super Bowl windows open, that we could possibly agree on. But I do think the team still needs some steps in the right direction to kind of achieve that dream that we've been searching for since '91. So, you know what I'm saying? I like the process of where we're going right now, and I hope we can just continue to build and the Commanders continue to do the right thing. So, again, I like what I've seen. I have full faith in Marcus Mariota. My boy was slicing and dicing. He was slicing and dicing up the Raiders last week, so I have no issue if he step on the field against Atlanta. If we see JD this week, I know he can be playing with a chip on his shoulder. His last game before he shot this past week wasn't a good one. The first two games really hasn't been JD. He wasn't terrible, or he wasn't even bad in the first game versus the Giants. He missed some throws, but he still had an overall good game. I thought he saw the field well versus the Giants. Week 2 versus Green Bay, I don't really thought he saw the field where I think kind of the pressure was getting to him. He was kind of uncomfortable. So I'm expecting him to shake back versus the Falcons and make some big plays if he steps on the field. But regardless of who played quarterback, it's a very winnable game for us, and they should win. They better win. Whether Terry plays or not, we better win. And if Terry doesn't play, that means other receivers need to step up. Like Luke got his first touchdown this past week, so I'm gonna need you to kind of keep building off of that. Like there was a lot of talk about you in the offseason from the fans or some fans. So I want you to continue to prove them boys wrong. Jalen Lane, you'll get some opportunities again. Mariota hit you with a dime in the end zone. And I'm saying a little go. You dropped it, but we gonna get those back. So this week we get the same opportunities. I'm gonna need that one for sure. I'm gonna need that one. Debo, you know what I'm saying? If Terry don't play, you know what time it is. Your workload gonna increase. And like I say, love what we've been doing with Debo. Definitely a fan. Can't wait to see it. So I like where we're going with this. So it's early in the year. The defense needs to continue to improve and we'll be good. So I think we're gonna wrap the episode up right there for our very first one. Man, I ain't put this on I ain't put the live stream link nowhere. We just kind of get this out there. We a little framework going on, but obviously we're gonna be back again after this Sunday's game. I don't know if I'm gonna drop something that same Sunday or we're gonna record a little later. I like kind of watching the film before I get up here and talk because it's easy to live in the emotions on Sunday, but I kind of need to step away from emotions and kind of see the overall picture from what was displayed on the Sunday's game. You know what I'm saying? I can't really get a full picture of everything, just the way the broadcast is formatted. So obviously I like all 22, whether you watch on the NFL Plus, the NFL app, or you get on a computer, go on NFL Pro. I like watching them, and I think a lot of people, especially fans, whoever, should also watch it if you want to learn more about football and kind of just learn more about the ins and outs before making takes and opinions and stuff like that. So can't wait to see it moving forward, man. But stay with the pod. This is my personal show, Commander Circle. Make sure you tune into the joint pod, game recognized game. And we getting everything off the ground. So like, subscribe, comment, whatever. Do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be back with some more content from the Commanders, but let's rock out for sure. I appreciate whoever gonna be watching and rolling with me for the future. You know what I'm saying? But we'll be back again sometime next week. We might have a lot. We might have a initial reaction video, maybe Sunday night, depending on what I can do. Obviously, gotta see what time I can record and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Got responsibilities like everybody else. But if I can get something like an initial reaction from the game on Sunday, you would do something like that, and then have another video after I have a chance to watch film, get a full review, and kind of watch film and then whoever they play next, and kind of get back up here and talk about it. So we'll see what we look like moving forward. But I want to appreciate everybody who be rocking with me, and just stay tuned, man. We getting going for sure. So game recognized game. That's this Commander Circle. Let me not forget. Game recognized game. Commander Circle edition. Let's get to it. We getting right for sure. So shout out to my Washington Commanders. 2-1 right now through 3 weeks. And gotta love it. Winning record. Gotta always love the winning record. Let's make it 3-1 after this Sunday. So let's hopefully they can handle business again. But I like where we going right now. So all right. Peace.